Hey everyone, it's Saoirse, and yesterday my channel turned 3 years old, so I thought I would just do a little chatty video to talk about how crazy it is that it's been 3 years. I went over some of my old videos to pull some clips, which will be coming up soon. Clips from videos that were my favorite to make, or they were memorable, or they were about books that I really liked. And it was weird. It was a weird thing looking back at all of these different versions of me from the past 3 years, because I've always felt like I don't 100% know who I am. And it's strange because I think I know, but I think I've always felt this pressure to like fit into a specific box. And I think we're all pressured from a young age to talk about what we want to do when we grow up. And it's not like what do you want to do, how do you want to spend your life, it's always what do you want to be, in terms of a career. And I have always been a bit of a Renaissance man and haven't been able to choose one thing to focus on, so I get hyper fixated on a lot of things over time, and not many of these things really stick with me. So it was just interesting to watch all of these versions of me talking about things that I'm into at that time. A little bit strange because I've talked about before having depersonalization disorder, so it triggers my dissociation to watch videos of myself. And usually, like, when I make these videos, I'll watch them one time to make sure I didn't say anything absolutely bananas, and then I don't watch them all the way through again. So it's always weird getting comments on really, really old videos, and people are talking to me as if I just posted it. I get so many comments on, especially Catcher in the Rye and The Bell Jar. Understandable now. I didn't realize then that when you make a video about a classic book, it's gonna get more views because more people are searching for it. So I'll get comments like as if I just read those books and that was a while ago. And on some things my opinions have changed, or I've completely forgotten a book and I have nothing to say. So it's just weird, like, to look back at these videos of myself when I had just read these books and I knew what I was talking about. It was all very fresh in my mind, and now it's, so much time has passed, and I'm just gonna ramble and this is not gonna make any sense. I don't have any notes for this video. But 3 years, it seems like, and I have something in my eye always, it seems like so much has happened since then, and at the same time, I definitely feel like I lost the past year or two, which I think is a common feeling right now because of the pandemic. We all just kind of lost a couple years there. So it's very strange to think about it that way, that most of the time I've had this channel has been during a pandemic. Is that right? Yeah. And a lot of some good things have happened in the past 3 years. A lot of bad things, not just for the world, but personally. It's been a rough 3 years, but this space that I created here has always been something that I can come back to and sort of feel like I have a little bit of a purpose, even though some people might look down on it because I'm not making a huge amount of money on YouTube, so it's not my career. But I'm just, as I was saying, I'm not into that idea of asking people what their career is, or, what do you do? What do you do for a living? How about what do I like to do for fun? If work is a necessity, like, why don't we talk about the things that we actually enjoy doing? Some of us are blessed to have jobs that we enjoy, but whatever. I enjoy doing this, and to me it is like a job, especially the past couple months I've made an effort to post on a real schedule, twice a week, same days every week, and I read like a maniac. I was talking recently about how much effort or how much time goes into a video, and I'm factoring in reading time is hours and hours because I'm a slow reader, and then planning, writing all my notes on my whiteboard, shooting, then editing sometimes, and then uploading takes absolutely forever. And it's a lot of time, and it's like it equates to like a part-time job just doing this. And yeah, if you know anything about like YouTube income, you don't get very much until you have tons and tons of subscribers, and I'm currently almost at 5,000, so thank you to everybody who has subscribed. That's pretty cool to me. 5,000 is a lot in my world, and I'm grateful to every one of you, unless you're one of those weird ones that subscribes to me so that you can then bully me on all of my videos. These people exist, but for the most part, recently especially, this has become a much more safe space. I think I scared away a lot of the bullies because I was just getting tired of it. Like, I was getting comments that were so horrifying you would not believe. I had to turn off comments completely on Lolita because the absolutely repulsive, toxic masculinity crap that was coming out of that video, and all pointed at me because I'm a woman who reads books and I have opinions, and so people were getting gross. So yeah, I just turned off comments and felt really dejected for a while, and you probably notice I have it set so that I have to approve every single comment that goes on my channel, because that's not just for me, that's for other people, because some of the nasty, scary, literally scary stuff that people write, I don't feel needs to see the light of day, so that's to protect all of us, you know, not just my sanity. But yeah, that was really discouraging for a while, and I thought about quitting seriously because I've gotten some very, very mean comments about my intelligence, my vanity, just, it's usually just how stupid I am. And also, somebody called me fat, which was really triggering and hard for me to deal with, because if you know my story, then you know I started this channel right after I thru-hiked the Appalachian Trail, and I lost a lot of weight because I was hiking for 6 months, and then when I got back, got severely depressed. I was in a very dark place because of some things I won't get into, and yeah, I kept losing weight and was very poorly, and that was when I started my channel, and that's like the skinniest I've ever been, the beginning of this channel, the first few videos. And then somebody commented that I was getting fat and might have to do the AT again, which is just such a gross thing to say. And I can't imagine what goes through these people's heads when they say this stuff, but whatever, you know, like, I have body image issues, most of us do, and so that was really hard for me because I work really hard and I go to the gym all the time and enjoy it, and I try to eat really healthy, but I do not keep myself from eating cake and things that I love because life is too short to say no to a pastry. I'm never gonna say no to like free baked goods. Like, when people bring food in anywhere that I am, I'm like, oh, free food, absolutely. Pfft, why should I say no to that? So yeah, long story short, it just really felt like quitting for a while because people were being so nasty. And I just came on here to talk about books and ramble about my thoughts. And so I appreciate the people who actually start a dialogue with me about books and start a dialogue with each other. It makes me so happy and really warms my heart when I see on some videos that people have been talking to each other, like I'm not even involved in it, and they're talking about a book. That's exactly what I wanted, you know. I come from a background of academia mostly, and I have a English literature concentration bachelor's degree and a creative writing master's, and so I spent a lot of years, a lot of time just sitting in classrooms talking about books, debating books, discussing symbolism in books, just on and on and on. And in undergrad, it was mostly Shakespeare and Victorian literature. And that I was just so passionate about that, and I still am. And so I felt really sad, like when I left undergrad, I had nowhere to talk about these things, and I wanted to do something where I could just kind of ramble and ramble about the books that I like, and nobody could really stop me, but also I could start a conversation with people who want to talk about the same things. So that's what this is, really. And yeah, sometimes I feel like I should just always be in school because I just love the vibe of sitting around a table talking about the same book, and maybe I should just be in a book club. That would be much less troublesome. So I've been thinking about joining one or starting one. I'm very picky about what I read. I don't really like, I don't like to take recommendations very much because look how many books I have. Like I have no issue and no trouble finding new things to read. I'm not one of those people that will ever be like, help me, I don't know what to read. Does anybody have suggestions? I've always got something on the shelf. I just read 10 books this January. 10 books, which is like a record for me because I'm pretty slow and I tend to read over the same sentence a million times, which definitely slows me down a lot. But I want to work through all of these dozens of books that I've bought over the past 15, 20 years, 15 years, that I just haven't read yet, and it's so bad. I've got to find a little bit of self-control, and start reading more of what I have before I buy the next book, but it's part of the fun of being a bibliophile. You just can't help it. And I'm always dreaming about the next home library I'll make, and I love the shelves that I created in here, but there's always just new ideas in my head about how I want to display things, and I just love design. But yeah, I kind of have always wanted to talk about other things on this channel aside from books, but I know in this social media era, people kind of gravitate towards one subject. They're going to follow a person for a specific subject, and unless that person has a super interesting life and is really good at vlogging and editing videos and making them visually appealing, which I'm just not. So I've always stuck to what I know, which is sitting in front of the camera, stationary, chatting about books for approximately 25 minutes. And I wouldn't want to lose everybody if I did something else, but I don't know. Maybe one day if I feel like it and I'm actually good at making videos, then I would do some sort of travel things, but I'm not traveling right now. So, yeah. I miss traveling, and I've just been reminiscing about a lot of things and places lately. But yeah, the past few years, wow, it has been so strange. Like I said, I started after I finished the AT, and the fact that now it has been almost 4 years, it'll be 4 years in March, since I started the AT. That freaks me out. There's certain like markers in your life where you look back and think, I can't believe it's been that long. And then others where you're like, yeah, that seems about right. That has been a long time. That I can't believe, because it just felt like everything just snowballed. I got back from the AT. I was really mentally unwell, decided I'm gonna go to grad school overseas. So that's one thing I talk about in some of these clips I'm gonna play. I was talking about getting into grad school, and I thought that was gonna like fix my life and I would figure everything out. So on this channel you've seen me, start and then go to grad school, move to Scotland, struggle, come back, struggle more, get the devastating news about my cat's health. The past year has been really, really hard with that, coping with that. a lot of grief and fear. But she's doing great right now. So stay in the present. Yeah, and then, oh yeah, right, I lost my job. I lost my job at Disney after 7 years of working there. And I thought when I got back from Scotland I would have that to return to, and they laid almost everybody off. They were just like, see ya. No more being on furlough, you're just gone forever now. And so I still haven't gotten over it, I don't think, because I link it in my head to my youth, and if I can't be a Disney performer anymore, I feel old, and I know that if I were to try to go back and get my job back, there wouldn't be much of a point because I'm getting towards an age where I wouldn't be doing it anyway. I don't like being close to 30. I know I'm gonna have to get used to it, but I always felt like I could just escape it somehow. And it's crazy when I look at my first video, and I think I mentioned in the first video that I'm 24, and now I'm almost 28. And time just goes so quickly, and this is something that all adults will tell you when you're a teenager, a kid. It just gets quicker every year, and the thing is, it does. It gets quicker every year, and I've read that this is a phenomenon that makes sense scientifically because when we're younger, everything is new, and so each new experience is like this point on our mental roadmap, and it's something that we can grab onto and go like, this is a very different time than the time that I had yesterday or last year. Whereas as we get older, there's a lot less novelty in our life, and we kind of have to seek novelty and create it. When you're a kid, everything you do is new. You can't help it. But now, in my late 20s, I have to really seek out new experiences and like try really hard to do something that I haven't done before. And I know that's like a ridiculous problem to have because I'm lucky that I've been able to do so much. But that is why it feels like life goes so quickly, because all the days start to look the same, which really freaks me out. But I'm working a lot more on my mental health than I was when I started this channel. I don't even like to look at like and think about what that person that I was in those first videos, because I was so unstable and not doing much about it. And then a few months after I started the channel, I started therapy. And then when I moved to Scotland, I stopped because I wasn't near my therapist anymore. But then the pandemic happened, and I was like, oh, I'm not doing well. About halfway through that first summer. And so I contacted my therapist and started doing online video appointments with her, which I'm so glad I made that step, because it was really hard for me. It's always really hard for me to talk to anybody professional about my mental health, because I just don't feel like I'm being taken seriously, and that's my own hang up. But I just have an issue trusting doctors and professionals, whatever. But I talk to her every week now, and I'm going to make a big step and see a psychiatrist and look into medication, because untreated depression and anxiety is just not a pretty thing, and I deserve to take care of myself and properly treat the things that are going on in my brain, because therapy's great, but I think it's time to admit that I might need to add something else to my treatment. And I wish there was no stigma about talking about that. I would love to hear other people talk about their own experiences with this, because it can feel like you're alone and it's really scary, but you're not alone. Yeah. And yeah, it's just weird thinking about 3 years from now, will I look back at this video and be like, who's that weirdo with like the pseudo pixie cut? Shaving my head was cool. I'm glad I did it. And yeah, I don't regret it at all. Sometimes I miss being able to do historical hairstyles, because I love Downton Abbey so much, and I'm rewatching it right now. And I'm like, oh, I used to have hair down to my butt and I could do all of these styles. But other than that, I don't regret it. And definitely glad I did that bucket list thing, even though it opened the floodgates. The amount of horrifying comments I got about that, like, you don't know how many people are into bald women. So that's part of why I decided to just start growing it out again, because I did not want that kind of attention, and it was making me so uncomfortable to the point that I just couldn't handle it. Which is a shame. It's a shame. People should keep their gross comments to themselves. But I'm enjoying every day having more hair than the day before, and like being able to very easily see how long it's getting. It's crazy. Just, you know, a fun way to pass the time, looking at my head. What else could I say? I'm so good at rambling for 20 minutes. It's absolutely wild, and I'm still gonna show clips, so this is gonna be a long video. I hope you settle in. I liked making that ASMR video recently. That was fun. I would like to get a real microphone. I still don't know anything about microphones or how you have a different audio track than video track when you edit something. I have been using the same Samsung NX500 since 2016. Thank you for still working. It's kind of a miracle. I feel like it's gonna break any day now, and then I will not have videos up for a while. But I've been lucky so far. It works. It's just persnickety, and it has these wild files that do not seem to communicate with anything, and that's what made editing so difficult for a long time. But that's all pretty boring. So anyway, thank you for sticking around for 3 years, or showing up recently. I don't know when you started watching, but it means a lot that anybody cares to listen to what I have to say. It's been a very interesting journey, going from, you know, no subscribers and just doing this for fun and wondering could it ever be anything more, to like making pretty cool connections. And for instance, I just love having any sort of a brush with authors that I love, and since I started making videos, Cheryl Strayed has liked my post about one of her books. Eleanor Kreisman has liked a post and commented on it. Billy Jensen shared my video that I made about his book, and recently, and this is so crazy, Mark Hamer, who wrote How to Catch a Mole, shared my video on his Twitter, and I'm just, like, I almost cried. I never think that authors are actually going to see these videos. Adds a little bit more pressure, but it's so exciting. Yeah, and I know I should focus on some of my own writing. Eventually I might. It's just been so hard to get motivation. So hard. So thanks to anybody who has encouraged me and watched the videos where I've shared some of my writing. I almost feel like I just want to give up because my heart's just not in it, but I don't know. I really don't. I don't want to pressure myself anymore. Just because I've always talked about being a writer doesn't mean I have to continue to be one or make myself feel bad when I'm not writing. Yeah. But anyway, I just am so grateful to everybody who writes really thoughtful, kind comments, and it gives me some hope that there are some genuine, good people in the world still, and they are not all YouTube trolls. So thank you so much. It really means the world to me every time you write a nice comment. I love when people tell me that they put me on in the background to do some project, and it's just because I've used a lot of YouTubers' videos that way, and I find it so relaxing, and so the idea that I can be relaxing to anybody is really, really nice. It's really nice. I guess I'm gonna stop rambling for now, and I might come back if I think of anything else to say. For now, take a look at some of these old videos of mine. And thank you so much for watching all this time. Hi, welcome to Saoirse's Shelf. I'm finally getting started on this YouTube channel that I've been talking about for I don't even know how long, and I have no idea what I'm doing. I don't know how to edit videos or really do anything like that. Hopefully I can figure out how to upload a video. but I figured now's the time I should stop putting it off for you. You'll be silent forever, and I'll be gone in the dark. You threatened a victim once. Open the door. Show us your face. Walk into the light. Hi, it's Saoirse, but you can call me Nurse Ratched today. Didn't mean to scare you. I know I look a little bit different. The Stranger. And I'm going to say this is by Albert Camus because it was originally published in French, so I'm not going to call him Albert Camus. But I got into grad school. So, if everything goes according to plan, this is what freaks me out, it's like I feel like I'm going to jinx it. If I get my visa, if I get everything set up with these kitties coming with me, and I can find a place to live and all that, then I am moving to Scotland in a few months. School starts in September. Hey guys, it's Saoirse. Today I want to talk about the only book that I've actually completed this month, packing, and I came across an old, like, school spiral of mine, like a journal, kind of, like it was kind of for school, but also really it was just for me to pass notes with my friends. And I noticed that I had written, like, started all these short stories, and even started things that I intended as a 12-year-old to eventually be a book. And I just thought that was so cool, because I've never been able to pinpoint when I decided I wanted to be a writer. And then I look back in this notebook and it's like so obvious. I already knew when I was in 6th grade that that's what I wanted to do. I just never like allowed myself to believe that that was an option, and like never would I have imagined that I'd be moving to the UK to study creative writing. I just never would have thought that. I wanted to be like an astronaut. Like when I was really young, I used to say, like, my go-to answer was I want to be a paleontologist, and then it was an archaeologist, and then I got really into geology, which is so weird, like all this sciencey stuff, and then I ended up being an English major, and I was never really any good at science, even though I find it interesting. So, what is my point of all this rambling? Basically that you just never really know where your life's going to take you and where your passions are going to take you, and it's kind of fun to see how things turn out without having any idea. Well, let's see, I've done one bin. I don't know if you guys want... Hey guys, it's Saoirse and Springer, and this will probably be, I think it will be, my last video here in this library before I move and everything's different and we don't have this crazy wall of books behind us. So I hope you guys still want to watch my videos even without the crazy wall of books. I'm hopefully going to have a tiny wall of books in my new place. So yeah, I moved to Scotland. Remember that? How I was talking about that? Well, I did it, and I've been here over a month now, and things have been crazy, as I'm sure you can imagine, because I moved to a foreign country with 2 cats. So that was an experience. Hey guys, it's Saoirse. It's been forever, I know, I keep doing this. I've got to stop going so long in between videos, but as it turns out, grad school is a lot of work. And maybe I've said this before, but you know, I really should repeat it. Grad school is a lot of work, and I have just had no free time. This semester is already over. Like, remember when I talked to you as the semester was beginning, or maybe it hadn't even begun, and I hadn't even started doing any of the work for it yet? And now here we are and it's already over. It went really quick, but also semesters here are a lot shorter. It was only like 10 or 11 weeks of actual instruction. So, and in that time we managed to read this many books. I think, what is this, 9? Hey guys, it's Saoirse, and it's finally time for the Villette guided reading series. There will be 3 videos. This is for volume 1, and I gotta let you know now, it will be all spoilers, okay? So if you don't want to know what happens in Villette quite yet, don't watch these videos. But I have here my new edition, which is the Oxford World's Classics. So if you have this edition or you want to follow along, I will be telling you some page numbers. And I've got my Charlotte portrait, so we'll just put her right here so she can listen. Oh, I'm so excited and also really nervous because this is my favorite book. Okay, Villette by Charlotte Bronte, and it was published in 1850. Hey, it's Saoirse, and it's snowing right now, so I thought I'd show you that first. It's the cat's first snow. Okay, but I can't film there because lighting. So, that was exciting, huh? Let me just act like I can fix a camera. Okay, hi. So, yeah, wow, it's snowing. It never snows. I am so excited. This is the first time I've really seen, like, actual snow happening since I moved here. Well, this was a weird start to the video. I kind of don't know what to say. Anyway, today we are talking about the bell jar. And, like, when editing would come in handy. But anyway, these are my cats. Maybe they will. I'll just pick them up. They've been helping me a lot with my essay. And staying chill. Isn't that right? They are the best little buddies. Hey everyone, it's Saoirse. And today I want to talk about Chase Darkness with Me by Billy Jensen. This was Out here you never look back, Brick said. For 185 days I have not looked back. I have trudged up mountains brown with dead leaves and deep mud. I have bounded down hills green and vibrant in their summer glory. I have faced black bears and rattlesnakes, looked in their shining eyes and kept on walking. I have suffered hard falls and sickness, felt my skin slick with sweat and my muscles seized from exertion. I have climbed mountains from dawn until dusk every day for half a year. And I think I'll leave. Good afternoon everyone, it's Lady Saoirse here today to talk to you about a British classic, Northanger Abbey by Jane Austen. Now I'm gonna drop that accent, so sorry about that. Don't know what came over me. So anyway, I tried to go for like a Gibson Girl look today because Evelyn Nesbit was like the original It Girl at that time. So, my issue. Oh, hello and welcome to every Alpha, Beta, Gamma, Delta, and yes, even the Epsilons. I'm Saoirse, a sleep specialist at the Central London Hatchery and Conditioning Centre. Have you taken your soma today? Good. Then let's dig in to Aldous Huxley's Brave New World. Okay, seriously, let's do this. Hello everyone, it's Saoirse, and today we are kicking it 1920s style, hence my faux bob. Let's say a prayer right now that it stays up for this whole video. There's a lot of pins in there. So today I want to talk to you about This Side of Paradise by F. Scott Fitzgerald. Now this was Harry. Okay. The world turns. I knew there would be no alligators, but I didn't know there would be no thunder. I knew I was trading mangroves for thistles and parrots for magpies, but I didn't know I was losing lightning that brightens the entire sky. When you move, you know things will look different, and intellectually I knew that moving from the south to the north would mean experiencing seasons. But when I had to wear a coat in August, when the sky became black at 4 in the afternoon, when I began to long for the sun I'd always dreaded, I knew I'd been naive about what I was getting into. I was born and raised in a place where the metal on your seatbelt can burn your flesh clean off if you happen to touch it while buckling in. I grew up in the Sunshine City, a nickname that had me convinced I was living in the hottest region of the Sunshine State. It's a place where you don't even notice the lightning rods on the buildings because something that common just isn't interesting when you're used to it. I got used to a lot of things. Seeing dolphins swimming alongside the seawall downtown, hearing lawnmowers rev up every morning year-round, the plants that always looked the same from New Year's to Christmas, knowing the Gulf was full of stingrays and sharks and every body of freshwater was full of gators, never drinking anything without ice in it, hoping for just 1 week of the year when it might be cool enough to sit outside, just sit, and not sweat. And the storms, the heat lightning, the pounding rain that could defeat windshield wipers and stop the traffic on the highway. The thunder that crashed so loud it rattled our house's windows when they weren't boarded up in defense from the hurricanes. I'll stop right there for that section. Hey everyone, it's Saoirse. I'm so excited today. I need to just calm down for a second because I've wanted to do these videos since I started this channel over 2 years ago, and it took me a while to gear myself up, reread the book, put some time into it, and I still feel like I'm not going to do it justice, so I apologize, but I want to talk to you about my favorite book, The Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Chbosky. This is my original copy, and I have a bunch of editions. I suppose I can try and show you now. I just have to kind of budget time to people who are not your blood relatives, and we are all here for you. And so this is why it was so important for me to find books that represented the thoughts and feelings I was having that I felt like I couldn't talk to everybody about. I did become pretty vocal, and I say usually that I came out around 13 years old, and I remember coming out to one of my best friends, and she happens to be bisexual as well, but at the time hadn't like said that, so we both hadn't said it to each other, and I came out to her and I was like so freaking awkward about it. I was like, yeah, boys and the girls, yep, that's I like them all. It was like the most awkward creature of all time. But then like we bonded so much over our love for everything within our culture, because queer culture is so awesome and full of wonderful things. And I gotta say, like, one of my first introductions into queer culture was Queer as Folk on my own. I had none of those things. I'd already completed a lot of solo goals in a short amount of time. I'd thru-hiked the Appalachian Trail, written novels, worked in Paris, traveled alone, and while I was proud of that, I could feel my life moving too quickly, and I was no closer to securing any of the long-term goals. And now, as I drove through the highlands with my friend, I tried to focus on the highland coos with their long horns and the fringe covering their marble-shiny eyes. But that voice on the radio was telling me that life was about to change in ways that no one could anticipate. Something was coming, and we didn't know how bad it would be, and we didn't know how long it would last. Whatever happened, I knew it was only going to delay any possible chance of my life moving forward the way I wanted. I fidgeted as a familiar burning in my brain began. When my anxiety flares up, it's like I can feel someone spreading gasoline and lighting a match right beneath my skull. Then my heart starts racing like I drank a gallon of coffee and ran a marathon. I'm exhausted, amped up, terrified, watching my vision tunnel. That's what started to happen in the car. And it continued through the night as I lay in our camping pod, beneath a sky of stars, in a beautiful valley with a view of snowy hills. I didn't sleep at all. I turned 26 with my eyes wide open. Settling. Hey everyone, it's Saoirse. Today I have got my luggage with me, and I am ready to set sail on the RMS Titanic, because today is the 24th anniversary of the best movie ever, Titanic. So I thought we would talk about a special book. This is A Night to Remember. It's the classic. See you next time. We'll stay forever this way. You are safe in my heart, and my heart will go on and on. Hey everyone, it's Saoirse. Happy Sunday. I do try to put out videos every Sunday and Wednesday if you haven't noticed. I hope everybody's first week of the new year has been going all right. Started out like thinking this is the new year, new me, like I do every year. Then fell into a crippling depression for a couple of days, kind of still there. I found that I really just have to stick to a routine or I go nuts. So anyway, please do share, subscribe, and turn on post notifications if you haven't yet. That would help me out a lot. Happy to be with you today to talk about book covers. I was thinking, what can I do for a video? Hello everyone, it's Saoirse, and welcome to my antique book market, which is actually the corner of my kitchen, and I'm sitting on the floor. You might have to turn your volume up. I don't have a proper microphone yet, but I wanted to do a soft-spoken ASMR style video for you today to show you some of my oldest books in my collection. Now we're going to take a closer look at each of these books, but first I just want to show you what they are, what we're working with here. Hey everyone, it's Saoirse, and today is my 100th video, believe it or not. I can't believe it. It feels like just yesterday. But anyway, today we have another sort of mole-centric video. I know I talked about moles in the last one because of Wind in the Willows, and today we have the phenomenal book, How to Catch a Mole by Mark Hamer. This was published in 2019. I adore the cover. I should have included this in my covers video because this is stunning. I mean, the gold that's on it, it just shimmers, and it's so, I just love the way it's a circle. Everything's very pleasing to the eye. So anyway, because it's a mole video, I brought out some mole things again. Here's a little mole. Hey everyone, it's Saoirse, and today I want to talk to you about a book that I read so fast because I loved it. It is Consider This by Chuck Palahniuk. Moments in my writing life after which everything was different. So I have to say, this was published in 2021 by the way, I have to say that, you know, I have a master's degree in creative writing. I think I learned more from this book, from the one day or so that I spent reading this book, than I did in my master's degree. So take that as a very strong endorsement. I think this has so much to offer. Even if you're not into writing, it's still a super fascinating book. So let's get into it. I want to read you. That was a lot. I hope you enjoyed that walk down memory lane. And I will see you next time for... I don't know what. I've been trying to come up with ideas other than just talking about a specific book, though of course I'm going to continue to do that because little video book reports are my favorite thing to do. But if you have any suggestions for things that you would like to see, types of videos that you would like, regarding any of the books, genres, whatever I have in my library, please let me know. I would love to steal some of your ideas. So, happy 3rd birthday to my channel, and thank you so much for watching. I will see you all next time. Until then, happy reading.